asked my Lord for something and I wished I hadn't asked him for it. قلت يا رب, I said, oh my Lord, قد كانت قبلي رسل منهم من سخرت له الرياح ومنهم من كان يحيي الموتى. Oh my Lord, prophets came before me. For them you have caused the wind and the seas to be subordinated. And some of them you allowed to raise the dead and bring them back to life. Rasulullah ﷺ is saying, Ya Allah, these miracles that existed for the prophets and the messengers before. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he says to him, أَلَمْ أَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَيْتُكَ أَلَمْ أَجِدْكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَيْتُكَ أَلَمْ أَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ وَوَضَعْتُ عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ قُلْتُ بَلَى يَا رَبِّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, didn't I find you as an orphan, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and gave you refuge? Didn't I find you lost and I guided you? Didn't I open your heart and lift the burdens from you? And I said, yes, O my Lord. This is an interesting hadith. The Prophet ﷺ had many miracles, not just the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ had many miracles, dalal al-nubuwwah, the proofs of prophethood. And Rasulullah ﷺ did not want these miracles as a sign of Allah's love for him, as a sign of validation, because he already knew he was khayru khalqillah wa ahabbu khalqillah. He is the best of Allah's creation and the most beloved of Allah's creation. Rasulullah ﷺ wanted to deliver the message to his people. He wanted miracles that could most effectively deliver the message to his people. And the Prophet ﷺ was responding to these questions with the high interest of them embracing the message, having a higher probability of them embracing the message. And Allah pointed to the miracles He has done for the Prophet ﷺ. And subhanAllah, look at this. It's actually quite amazing. You know, some, even Islamophobes, they'd come forth and they say, what is the miracles of Muhammad ﷺ? And you say, the Quran, and you point to these other miracles. And here's something amazing. The Prophet ﷺ was the most successful of all of the prophets of God in his lifetime and the most successful of all of the prophets of God after him. Meaning more people were convinced in his miracle during his life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and more people have been convinced with his miracle after he passed away, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, than any one of the Anbiya, any one of the prophets of Allah. May Allah send His peace and blessings upon them all. What does that show you? Ya Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the miracle has come. And it will achieve even more than what those things could achieve. And just as those miracles have been shown to you in the past, they will continue to be bestowed upon you so long as your heart is right. And just as those blessings were bestowed upon you in the past, they will continue to come to you, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfills the mission through you. And so if the purpose of the miracle is to achieve the goal, your goal has been achieved, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so what does this mean for us? When you ask Allah for more, acknowledge what you already have. And when you ask Allah for a miracle, be explicit about your motivation. Why do you want miracles to happen for you? Why do you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unlock what is seemingly impossible for you? Is it so you can reach more people? Or is it so you can find a greater sense of validation and purpose? Because if it is the latter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already given us enough. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with the proportion of this dunya that is blessed and satisfying and fulfilling, and that directs our longing to Him for the greater portion of the hereafter. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the greatest rank of the hereafter, Jannatul Firdaus, in the companionship of our Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to show us in Jannah what we could not perceive in this world, and to motivate us in this world towards that Jannah in a way that others would not be able to perceive. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His forgiveness for our shortcomings. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to inspire in us that longing for His pleasure and His paradise. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.